B1 English Test GESE Grade 5 Trinity College London for indefinite leave to remain in the UK, permanent settlement, British citizenship naturalisation, and permanent residency. Self-secure English language tests.
Please subscribe to the channel and help me reach 100,000 subscribers. Thank you so much for watching. In this video, we're going to talk about an important topic for GESE Grade 5 exam. This is a video requested by a student who has taken the topic My Family. So the topic points taken by the male candidate are my wife, my son, my daughter, my family activities, and my parents. So today in this video, we'll talk about all the important questions that your examiner can possibly ask you about the topic My Family. Let's start now. This is Trinity College London GESE Graded Examinations in Spoken English. My name's Angelina, and I'm your interlocutor for your speaking exam today for British citizenship, naturalisation, indefinite leave to remain in the UK. As you guys know, before the exam begins, examiner can ask you some questions related to you. These are called introduction questions. For example, the examiner can ask you your full name. The examiner can ask you, what can I call you? The examiner can ask you, where do you come from? The examiner can ask you, where do you live in the UK? The examiner may ask you, how did you come to the examination center? You can tell the means of transport, by car, by bus, or by train. The examiner can ask you, how long did it take you to come to the examination center? You can say, it took me 30 minutes, 20 minutes, or 2 hours. The examiner may ask you, what will you do after the exam? You can tell, I will go back home or I'll go shopping. Now let's talk about the questions related to the topic. The topic My Family is very personal. Examiner can ask many personal questions about your family. And if you think that you don't know how to talk about your family, please do not pick this topic. Choose other topics that are easier, like the topic myself or my hobbies. The questions are very personal about your wife or about your daughter or about your son or about your parents. Examiner tries to avoid the topic points and starts asking you other random questions, because in other topics, examiner has a choice to ask you about different topics. But still, if you think that My Family is your favorite topic, we can prepare questions about it. So the first topic point that is taken by the candidate is my wife. Now, what are the possible questions that the examiner may ask you about the topic my wife? Examiner may ask you how many years it's been you're married. How many years it's been you're married. It's been 12 years. It's been 10 years I'm married. Examiner may ask you, what does your wife do? What does your wife do? My wife is a housewife, or my wife is working in a company, or my wife is a teacher. Examiner may ask you, when's your wife's birthday? My wife's birthday is on 22nd September. Examiner may ask you, what is your favorite activity with your wife? You can say, I like shopping, or I like watching TV, or I like going to the park with my wife. Examiner may ask you, has your wife ever surprised you for your birthday? You can say, yes, my wife has surprised me. My wife has surprised me many times for my birthday. Or you can say, no, my wife has never surprised me for my birthday. Depends. If you will say that my wife has surprised me for my birthday, then the examiner will ask you, could you tell me how did she surprise you? Then you can say that she arranged a party for me at home. She gifted me a beautiful watch, and she cooked delicious food for me. The examiner can ask you, what do you prefer doing with your wife, staying at home or going outside? You can say, I prefer going out with my wife, or you may say, I prefer staying at home with my wife. The examiner may ask you, when's your wedding anniversary? So for example, you can say my wedding anniversary is on 1st December. Then the examiner will say, how will you celebrate your upcoming wedding anniversary? This is a question for the future. You can say, I will go to a restaurant with my wife. I will decorate the house. I will give a ring to my wife. I will. Like, how will you celebrate the upcoming wedding anniversary? The examiner might ask you, how did you celebrate your recent wedding anniversary? Something that has happened, the anniversary that is gone. Probably the anniversary was in July. So you can say that I celebrated my wedding anniversary with my wife in a restaurant. We went to the shopping center. We ate delicious food, and I gifted a ring to my wife. Then let's talk about the questions that the examiner can ask you about the topic, your son. So, for example, the examiner may ask you that, how many sons do you have? You can say, I have one son or two sons. The examiner may ask you, what does your son do? Or does your son study? You can say, yes, my son goes to school, or yes, my son studies. The examiner will ask you, in which grade does your son study? So you can tell that my son studies in 7th grade or 8th grade or 6th grade or 3rd grade. The examiner will ask you, when's your son's birthday? You can say my son's birthday is on 1st January. The examiner can ask you, how do you celebrate your son's birthday? I celebrate my son's birthday at a park, or I celebrate my son's birthday at home. I celebrate my son's birthday at a restaurant. I invite his friends on his birthday, and I bake a cake for my son. What kind of gifts do you like to give to your son on his birthday? I like to gift him games or books. Examiner may ask you, how does your son go to school? Do you drop your son to school yourself, or does he take a bus? So you can say that I drop my son to the school myself. Or if your son goes to the school himself, then you'll say he goes himself and he takes the bus, or he walks to the school. The school is nearby. The school is in the neighborhood. Now let's quickly talk about the questions that the examiner can ask you about the topic, my daughter. The same kind of questions. What's your daughter's name and what does she study? My daughter is in 7th grade. What subjects does she study? She studies maths and history. How old is she? My daughter is 13 years old. And what's your favorite activity with your daughter? I like to go to the park with my daughter. How do you celebrate birthday of your daughter? I like to celebrate my daughter's birthday at home. I invite her friends at home, or maybe I like to celebrate my daughter's birthday in a restaurant. The examiner may ask you that, where is your daughter's school? So you can tell that it is 10 minutes away from my home, or is it 20 minutes away from my home, or it's just 5 minutes walk from my house. The examiner may ask you, when's your daughter's birthday? And of course, you can say it's on 3rd March. Then the examiner will say, how will you celebrate your daughter's upcoming birthday? You can tell, I will celebrate my daughter's upcoming birthday in my home country. I will take her there, and I will surprise her with a lot of clothes and makeup and jewelry. Examiner may ask you, if your daughter's birthday has happened recently in the past. For example, you say, my daughter's birthday was last month. How did you celebrate your daughter's birthday? I invited her friends at home, and I arranged for a small party, and my wife cooked her favorite food on her birthday. Now let's move to the next topic. The next topic is my family activities. The examiner may ask you different questions about it. What is your favorite family activity? You can say going to the park is my favorite family activity. Examiner may ask you, do you prefer going out with your family or staying at home? You can say, I prefer going out with my family. Examiner may ask you, are you planning for a holiday with your family soon? You can say, yes, I am planning to go to my home country next month with my family. And how do you prefer to travel with your family? I prefer to travel by car with my family. Can you tell me about your recent experience? Can you tell me about recent experience of a holiday with your family? Or can you share your recent experience of going for a holiday with your family? Yes, last year I went to France with my family. Do you watch TV with your family? Yes, I like to watch comedy films with my family. How much time do you spend with your family? I like to spend 2 to 3 hours with my family. How often do you spend time with your family? I spend time with my family every day. How do you celebrate special occasions with your family? I take my family out for shopping and we eat out in our favorite restaurant. And I like to have quality time with my family on special occasions. Can you tell me about an upcoming special occasion that you are looking forward to celebrate with your family? It's my daughter's birthday next month, and I will celebrate with my entire family. Now, the last topic, the examiner may ask you, um, as the last topic point is my parents. Now, what are the questions that the examiner may ask you about your parents? Examiner might ask you, where do your parents live? Where do your parents live? You can say, my parents live in Bangladesh or in Pakistan or in my home country. The examiner may ask you, how often do you meet your parents? You can say once in a year I meet my parents. And how often do you speak to your parents? I speak to my parents every day. I speak to my mother every day. The examiner may ask you that how many years it's been your parents are married. You can say it's been 50 years or it's been 40 years. The examiner may ask you, when are you planning to meet your parents soon? I will meet my parents next year or maybe next month. The examiner may ask you, what does your mother do? You can tell my mother is a housewife, or she was a doctor, but now she's a housewife, or she has retired now. For example, if your examiner will ask you, what does your father do? So you can tell that my father has retired, he's not working. And the examiner might ask you, how old is your mother? My mother is 70 years old. How old is your father? My father is 75 years old. And when's their wedding anniversary? You can tell my parents' wedding anniversary is on 7th July. And do you like to celebrate birthdays of your parents? You can say, yes, I love to surprise my mother and my father for their birthdays, and I like to give them their favorite things on their birthday. Besides that, examiner might ask you that, do you miss your parents if they're living in another country? And of course, you'll say, yes, I miss my parents. And what do you miss about your parents? And you can tell that I miss the food cooked by my mother, or I miss the family gathering or spending time with my parents. The examiner might also ask you, how important is it for people to spend time with their parents? And you can say that it is very important to spend time with parents as they raise you and take care of you, and they know a lot more about you than other people, and they expect from you to take care of them or be around them. So it's very important to spend time with parents. And this is the end of the lesson. And if you have learned something, please subscribe to the channel and help me reach 100,000 subscribers. Thank you so much for watching.